If you're not a mechanic, you might have never heard of a brake booster before. But the truth is that your car likely has one, and if it stops working, you're going to notice. Watch the video to learn common symptoms of a failed brake booster, the cost of replacement, and how to properly test this important component. What is a brake booster? Just like your power steering makes it easy for you to turn the steering wheel, your brake booster makes it easy to press the brakes. Brake boosters amplify the amount of force you apply to the pedal to the brake calipers or drums, making it easier to stop on a dime. Symptoms of a bad brake booster. There are a couple of telltale signs of a bad brake booster, and they are pretty easy to diagnose. Even if you can't tell the difference between a lug nut and a spark plug, you should be able to figure it out after reading the following symptoms. 1. Hard brake pedal. If your brake booster fails, the first thing you'll probably notice is that it will be hard to press the brake pedal down, or it will have a spongy feel to it. It makes sense. The entire point of the brake booster is to make it easier to press down the brakes. If it fails, then it's going to require more effort on your part. 2. Increased stopping distance and leaking brake fluid. An increased stopping distance isn't a direct sign of your brake booster failing, but it's a sign that you need to dig a little deeper. If you identify a leak between the brake booster and the master cylinder, you'll have to figure out which component is leaking. This is close to impossible, which is why many mechanics opt for changing both parts simultaneously. 3. Hissing noises. If your brake booster is vacuum operated, you might hear a hissing noise when you depress the brakes. This indicates that your brake booster has a vacuum leak, which will prevent it from working effectively. 4. Illuminated warning lights. Depending on the type of vehicle you drive, and the built-in safety features, you might have a wide variety of different lights illuminate on your dashboard if you have a faulty brake booster. The most common light is the ABS light, but your traction control light, check engine light, and stability control lights all might turn on. Can you drive with a faulty brake booster? The short answer is yes. The full answer is a bit more complicated. However, all that depends on what is wrong with your booster. If it's leaking brake fluid, you absolutely should not drive your car with it. Leaking brake fluid will lead to decreased braking performance, a significant problem. Yes, you can drive with a faulty brake booster, but we can't recommend it. Brake booster replacement cost. The total costs for parts and labor typically range between $500 and $800 for everything you need to get on the road again. These costs will vary depending on where you take your vehicle and what kind of vehicle you drive. If your brake booster is leaking from the check valve, you might get lucky and just need to order a check valve and grommet kit. These typically cost under $10, but you will need to replace your brake fluid too. How to test a brake booster. One simple test you can utilize to check if your brake booster is working correctly. With the engine off, pump your brakes by depressing the brake pedal a few times until the pedal gets stiff. Once the pedal is stiff, keep pushing down while starting the engine. The pedal should depress a little more after starting the engine. If it does, then your brake booster is working correctly. If the vehicle fails this test, it has a faulty brake booster.